once again talking about Ashley Babbitt. This person saying, so it's okay to shoot people when they don't comply? And we know what he's driving at, right? Well, when a black guy doesn't comply at a traffic stop and he gets shot, you guys all say that that's not the way things are supposed to be handled. But so now it's okay? I know what you're driving at. So let's have this conversation. Is it okay for a police officer to shoot a civilian who is unarmed if that civilian is not complying with orders? No, not necessarily. But also depends on the situation. Is somebody not complying at a traffic stop? Then you arrest them because it's you and that person, or maybe you and an officer, an assisting officer and that person, and you subdue them, you arrest them, and you charge them with whatever it is they did, plus the part about not complying with an officer, right? If you're Derek Chauvin and somebody's not complying with you, you get your arm around their neck like they did with George Floyd, you get them to the ground, and you subdue them, which is what they did. George Floyd took it a step further by keeping his knee on, or Chauvin took it a step further by keeping his knee on Floyd's neck for 9 minutes, murdering him. In that scenario, George Floyd is supposed to comply. He doesn't. He gets taken to the ground. He gets subdued. He gets put in handcuffs, and now he's facing charges. If you have a mob of people not complying, if you are one of a handful of officers looking at dozens, if not hundreds of people not complying and coming through the glass in the building illegally, trying to overthrow you and your fellow officers, then that mob represents a clear and present danger. And then you are justified in protecting yourself. I'm going to ask you the same thing I've asked a bunch of other people. If the scenario that played out outside those doors, where the officers were on one side of the doors and Ashley Babbitt and her cohorts were on the other side of the door, if that scene played out at your house, if there were that many people doing the exact same things, busting through the doors and windows, breaking the glass, all of that shit outside of your front door, and you're there in the living room with the gun in your hand, like the officer was, telling them, get out of here, or I'm going to shoot, leave, or I'm going to shoot, and they won't listen, and finally it reaches the point where one of them has broken completely through a window and is climbing through said window, are you going to shoot? Or are you going to go, wow, they're all unarmed. What am I supposed to do? You're going to unload. And you know you're going to unload. So why would it be okay for you to do that at your house and not okay for the officer who's tasked with, whose job it is to protect that building and the hundreds of occupants of it from a mob that's literally coming through the window in front of them? So, to answer your question, is it okay to shoot somebody when they don't comply? Depends on the scenario. Did they not comply with putting their hands behind their back at a traffic stop or at a stop on a sidewalk or at a confrontation at a convenience store? No. You get them under control unless they turn around and become a threat to your life. You get them under control, you get them handcuffed, and now you charge them with whatever crime it is you were going to charge them with, plus not complying with the police. They don't know what the official charge for that would be. But if there's a mob of people coming at you, if there's a mob of people coming through the window, and they simply will not comply after multiple orders to comply, then yeah, you start doing what that officer did. And you start plinking motherfuckers left and right. If that group of people was coming through your front door, I guarantee you would not shoot just once.